Okay, I guess I'm finally live. This is my third attempt. So, I don't know. That's kind of frustrating. I mean, I'm pretty I have a low tolerance for frustration. So I'm pretty pissed off. Um this is not how I remember doing the live last time, but apparently I'm live now. I can start doing some unboxings and stuff too. Hey, is it better at least? I mean, it could have just been my connection as well. Um, Tell me if you can't see or hear anything. Um, my internet in Hollywood is hideously bad. Um, okay, I'm glad. I'm glad. Thanks for letting me know also that everything was shit. So that obviously that makes a big difference. I need to hear that kind of input because I wouldn't be able to know. Um, I wonder if there's any way of doing like a share screen just on YouTube. I guess not. Otherwise, people would be doing it. I mean, like a share screen or no. See, I mean, even Messenger allows you to do that. YouTube needs to step up its game, but big shocker, YouTube is a big and gigantic fuckhole of innovation. You know, I mean, this is why we really, really, really need FairTube. I want to throw that in this chat here. Join FairTube. It is the YouTube content creator a workers union, and it's official. You can do it with OBS and Discord or Zoom. Let me see. I don't know what OBS Discord. I'm not good with Discord. Eggs, if you'd be willing to be so generous as to like run through it a little bit. I'm really shit with technology. I'm like the anti-Asian. Like I'm not like big into like games and anime and technology and stuff. I go dancing. I'm like not a good stereotype. Let's see. I have Zoom, but I don't have a paid thing. Am I able to F my phone is delayed so far and my PC now much better, no buffering. Okay. Um with a free Zoom account, am I able to go ahead and use that? I mean for free, or does it limit the amount of time? And then once I do, I'm able to add that into here, am I? Is that what you're saying, Eggs? Let's see, what is this button here? Oh, I don't. Yeah, I better not press it. I better not fuck with it. It's an app for OBS is open broadcast source. It takes some time and effort to set up. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna have to. I can't do that now, but uh, thanks, Forrest. Free Zoom has a time limit. Okay, well, let me use its time limit then. And then so once I call her on Zoom, I can just like splice that in here or whatever, or simultaneously broadcast it. It does it does a bit of time for sure, but works great. Okay, let me see. Where is my Zoom anyway? Discord is free. Okay, I do have a Discord account, but then hmm. Oh, and then can I use Discord the way you use StreamYard? It goes forever. Should I do well much better? Are you on YouTube Live or StreamYard? I'm on YouTube Live. StreamYard is saying that I've used all my free time, which is ridiculous. I could not be anywhere near that. So they're probably bullshitting people. I've probably used like a few hours and it's saying I used like 24 hours or whatever time limit, which is preposterous. Glendale is, I don't know. I mean, I made a meme on Facebook. I said Los Angeles is an hour away from Los Angeles. So, you know, Glendale is, if there's no traffic at all, like today, no, there's a ton of traffic right now. So never mind. Probably an hour if there's traffic. No traffic, probably 30 minutes. Why? It's all Armenians in Glendale, by the way. Does YouTube Live allow for you to share your screen? I'm sorry, I was hoping you could tell me. I don't know that you can. I know that StreamYard, that's why I use StreamYard, because it allows you to do stuff like that. Yeah, YouTube Live isn't bad if I'm just doing what I'm doing now. But if I want to have a guest, I don't know how to do that. I don't think you can, frankly. What is manage? What is this? Does this allow me to do something, or is it going to fuck up the whole thing? Oh, God. Let's hope it doesn't. Okay, you know what? Let's not fuck with that. Yeah, I'm sorry this sucks. Okay. Not a tech wizard. It looks like Eggs is gonna go check my. Oh, okay. She just moved out there about 6-8 months ago. Yeah, Glendale's not too far at all. Yeah, let me know if there's anything I can do. Find me on Instagram. You can also email me at hollywoodtactical@gmail. Um, uh, yeah, if there's anything I could do, is she out here for entertainment, modeling, acting, writing? You know, just curious if she's doing all that stuff. You know, because there's a lot of networking things and blah blah blah. So, you know, if you want to get in the business, you gotta hustle. And if you hustle, you can make it. And we really can. I hope this is updating in real time. Is this down far enough? Yeah, okay. So let me know. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, it doesn't let. Yeah, see, I can't highlight comments here either. So, então, Mariana, pode me escutar? Microfone nada de você.
Amor,
Ah, tá.
escuta.
Fala.
Diz o que acontece. O que aconteceu? Eu não enxergo nada.
Sim, eu não sei. É tudo merda, né? Chat died. I'm fidgeting with my MTech. Oh, which MTech? Budget guy? Gosh, I should show you all my MTechs. Well, not all. Well, some. Actually, I would never be able to show you all because I have so doggone many. But let me show you. Okay, that just happened. This is an MTech button lock, kind of a weak detent, probably can be fixed. This is the MT1118 USA design. And, you know, look, I mean, that's great action. Look at that. I mean, sure, it's probably 440 or less, you know, but it cuts, you know, and let's not forget geometry cuts, not blade steel. I know, like, us knife nerds wish it were blade steel, but it's not. Get a high grade premium super steel and make it too thick behind the edge. Give it a shit grind. It's gonna cut like a butter knife. Get some shitty ass 420J. Give it a nice hollow grind like this, thin behind the edge. It's gonna separate material for you. Might not have great edge retention, but strop it and sharpen it. Think how much has been done with the Buck 110. You know, 420HC is not astounding, but how many millions of pounds of game have been skinned and processed with a Buck 110? You know, how many hundreds of miles of rope have been cut with Buck 110 420 HC? I think we knife nerds get way too caught up in blade steel because it's blade geometry that cuts, right? So let me see if you can see that. You know, if you have some decent stainless steel with a decent hollow grind, it's gonna cut. Now, if you're one of these hard use people who's got to cut hundreds of boxes a day, you already know, yeah, you're not going to get away with an M-Tech. But if you're like me and you cut some packaging once in a while, some thread, some tape, you know, some potato bag packaging. I mean, this will never I'll never overuse this knife. Um, here is the another look at that. Look at that nice action. You know, I sharpened a pencil with it. See, it's got a nice hollow grind. I sharpened the crap out of a pencil, you know, and it works great. Nice hollow grind, decent stainless steel, decently thin behind the edge. Look at this action. I paid less than $10 for these. Right? You really need $100, $200 knife? Is it 10 times better? Yeah, you can't live with screen share. Yeah, try melonapp.com. Let me look it up. I got it from Love Them Knives at about $6 a knife. Wait, MTech? Wait, it wasn't part of his sale, was it? Was it part of his Love Them Knives sale, or was it something separate that you reached? It's basically Streamlard, and there's a free version also. Okay, MT 1149 Butline, great action is yours. Yeah. 1149. You know what? Was that part of 1149? I think I probably have the 1149. Hollywood, I am going to hit up later on IG about my niece. She is going through a rough breakup, and I may need your help. Oh God, you know, I got a ton of advice for rough breakups. I'll tell you what, you know, because moving on is tough, and you know, there's nothing to do but to just move on. You know, in Brazil, they say the best cure for a heartbreak is a new love. So, you know, it's actually easier. If you're a woman, it's easy to get a new guy. If you're a guy, you might just be asked out for a long time, go through a big ass drought. Okay. It's all about the heat treat. Yeah, the super steel's geometry and heat treat. Yeah. And that's the other thing too, is the heat treat on these cheap steels is easy to get right. The heat treat on the super steels is notoriously bad, hard, difficult, and tight. Here's a perfect example. This is the steel wheel Tasso, right? And I got it because it's got this new their new like kind of plunge style lock, except as you can see, the orientation goes up and down, and it can be done with one hand. You don't need two, right? Not like the axis lock, but the action is pretty bad. I mean, look, I mean, it's that bad. So it's because it functions. It's actually more of a back lock. Sorry, I don't know why I said it was like a punch lock, because it's not. It actually is actually more of a back lock, which is why it doesn't really drop shut. Because anyway, the engineering, they didn't quite figure out a good way to make this really fidgety. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It locks up fine and you can flick it, but you got to put some force into it, and it definitely doesn't drop shut. Um, you know, cold steel with their triad lock, they're able to make it drop, right? So, right, look at that. So, whatever it is, I don't know enough about this lock. It's the only one of its kind because they spent years engineering this. And I applaud them for it. I really want to see more companies. And this is the other thing, people who want to shit on Chinese companies out of sort of xenophobia and frankly just racism. Let's face it, it's the Chinese companies that have been doing the lion's share of pushing the envelope over the past several years, right? They're the ones coming up with new kinds of locks. CJRB is the one that came up with the recoil lock, right? This is their version of basically taking the axis lock and sticking it up there, which is in a lot of ways an improvement, because it allows you to do it with one finger, right? Where are the American companies doing that? And if and it's and let's face it, it's the Civivis that's pushing, and the CJRBs and Kaiser that's pushing the budget stuff right now, creating a whole brand new standard for what we can expect from a very, very well budget, a low budget knife in terms of, 30, 40, 50, 60, $70. We're getting extremely premium stuff, premium materials, definitely premium action. You look at QSP, you look at CJRB, what we get out of a $30 knife these days is unbelievable. So if you want to say, if you personally are like, oh, for reasons that I don't want to buy Chinese knives, you're still benefiting from what they're doing to the industry. They're dramatically pushing it forward by creating a lot of innovation, uh, by creating a much greater expectation from the consumer, us, the end user, from what we can expect at what kind of a price point. So you've got the CJRBs, you've got the, look at, I got this because this is a real steel, right? And it's a fixed blade, but look, they created like a little mini frame lock so that it kind of locks you in. It's not that big of a deal. It might frankly be totally just gimmicky, but it's something. To some people, it might mean quite a lot. To others, they might just think, who cares? I think it's nifty. I don't think it's just gimmick. Uh, I got it because it's gimmicky, because I'm all about gimmick. Because to me, there's just a fine line between gimmick and genuine innovation. But this allows you to get a lot more functionality from a smaller form, you know, right? So this is a nice, very, very small EDC size fixed blade, but because of that, that dramatically extends the handle and allows you to do more stuff like chopping. Now, you may not want to chop quite a lot with that. Who knows why you would want to chop with something this small? Again, it borders on gimmicky, but we benefit from this. Whether you end up buying Chinese knives or not, the industry itself is being propelled forward in a meaningful and important way. Um, the honey badger, you know, when this came out and everybody loved it because it was like, what was it, 20, I think I got this for like 20, under $30. The action on this is stupid. Every time I close it, I'm just like, I got this for how little? And I mean, this is just FRN GFN, like Spyderco, that you pay like hundreds of dollars for. They're giving you this shit, this fucking plastic shit, which is super durable. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad material. We get sick of it because it's very plasticky, but it's basically indestructible. It's extremely firm. Is that the word for it? Firm, strong, whatever. Um, I wanted to get a hawk bill, for doing some pruning work and just to have a variety. It's middle finger flickable. It's a great EDC size. This is the small. Also, it gives you a different color handle. That's something too. A lot of us like to match our knives with clothing. So I'm sorry, I'm just way behind. Um, okay. I may not need, but want. Exactly. Nah, I got a box of knives from him, basically $6 a knife. Got a lot of knives. Cool. Like a Kershaw link. Oh, yeah, he had like it was in his sale though, where it was just a lot. I would never trust this M-Tech pocket knife with my life. No, but a beater, a package is open. Yeah, it's great. Absolutely. No, of course not. Of course not. However, no, you wouldn't want to trust it with your life, but your chances of totally failing the knife and destroying it is probably not that much, because modern engineering and modern industrial capacity. I mean, imagine it to like 50 years ago or 60 years ago, right? That which we get for $10 today would astound somebody 50 years ago. Imagine somebody 200 years ago. I mean, what we get for $10 today would be like the strongest knife out there. What's up, buddy? Hey, Goondocks, how's it going? And I have no issue with the Chinese. It's the government that sucks. Yeah, what's new with shitty governments? My favorite maker is Artisan Cutlery. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you know that I'm sure you know this, but Artisan Cutlery is CJRB. So here, look, here's another perfect example. This is one of my favorite all-time knives. This is from Artisan Cutlery. I mean, tell me that's not a hard use. Tell me that is not a beast of a knife. I've cut cardboard with this, and I've also, that scar there comes from just barely. I mean, the point on this thing is nasty. It's strong and nasty. I mean, that's a hard little, being strong and being very slicey is that sweet spot. But this thing is both a robust tip. You've got a robust tip, but it's also a very slicey, stabby tip, as you can see. This is just, and this is the SMKW exclusive micarta, I think, for more or less the same price. And then, with the lock pin, you're getting so much knife for under $100. Oh, that's another thing. And then they created their own powdered steel, the RPM. What was it? The RPM 9, which is basically like I think like a 9CR or so. Except the powdered version of the 9CR. What's good about that for us is that if you look at the cut tests that like Cedric and Ada and some of the channels do on 9CR and 10CR, it dramatically outperforms 8CR, which is impressive. I mean, there's that much of an improvement in edge retention for that 9CR. And then for you to powder it, to have a powdered 9CR, again, you're just getting that smaller carbide, better edge retention. I think it improves the toughness as well when you powder it. Check out Rough Rider. They seem amazing. I need some. Yeah, I have a butt ton of Rough Rider. That's a perfect example. Rough Rider. Rough Rider prevents me from fucking around with case. I'm sorry, this is not a huge Rough Rider collection, and this isn't. I have all my favorite Rough Riders I have in little sheaths. These are just the ones that I put away in its case. But trust me, I cannot get enough Rough Rider. The price point is perfect. Of course, I EDC the it's over there. I EDC the tadpole all the time because I'm always wearing my damn pajama pants because I'm fucking lazy. And I slept. I fell asleep with that. I woke up a few mornings ago and I was like, what is this in my pocket? It's like, I slept with the tadpole. Great knife. And the fit and finish, the action on the tadpole is friggin' good. I did have to tighten it the other day because the spring on it is a little bit too much kick for how tiny the knife is. But I went ahead and took out my Torx, tightened it up. It's good to go. Centering's perfect. The G10 on it is really nice. I mean, G10, it's a friggin' great knife. Great little. I have no issue. Okay, check out Rough Rider. They seem amazing. I need some. I'm flipping a Kubi Royal, awesome knife for $50. There's another example. Kubi. Here's another one you guys don't know about, or you probably know about. Tuna Fire. I've showed their fixed blade. It's one of my favorite fixed blades right now. There's like this gorgeous mosaic pin, micarta, all for I think like under $50, $70. D2. with a and that's the other thing too. They're not the Chinese companies are not just pushing the production folder market. They're also pushing the fixed blade market. Take a look at Kubi fixed blades. Take a look at Tuna Fire fixed blades. They're doing all kinds of bizarre fixed blade shapes that are totally pushing the envelope. Some in terms of just aesthetics, which to each their own. Some people really care about that kind of stuff, right? But it's not just always aesthetic. Sometimes it's more of an aesthetic thing, but it's also meant to be a practical thing. So just how you experience the knife, it's not just gimmick. It's not just innovation for the sake of innovation. For example, Kubi has a bunch of fixed blades, like how compound grinds became a thing with two different grinds. Take a look at Kubi. Now they've got triple grind knives with, like triple Tonto knives. Hey, I'm not mad. That's a lot of functionality, and some of it is aesthetics too. It looks interesting, but oftentimes when it comes to industrial design, form and function are not separate. They often coincide in interesting ways. That like so. I always make this example in physics. They say and mathematics. They say that the correct answer probably is the more elegant one, the more simple, elegant one. The famous example is E equals MC squared, right? In the end, so often the the elegance and the form of something is not a separate issue from its usefulness and function and practicality. I just got two Rough Riders and I gotta go get them out of the van. You left them in the car, you mean? Oops, I just skipped way down. I know I'm ranting, so let me just try and catch up here. Sorry. Oh, good lord, I'm way behind. Okay. Hey Stacy, Rough Rider makes a sword. I'm good at yeah. The Marine combat sword. That was out, that was just not discontinued. It was out of stock everywhere for a very long time, and they finally put it out again a few months ago. I have it. I have showed it. I can whip it out again if you guys want to see it. Believe it or not, that Rough Rider sword can also be gotten by it's one of those things where everyone kind of just puts their own stamp on it. So it can be gotten for about half the price of Rough Rider, which is already a very affordable price. But what Rough Rider's Marine Combat Sword, their version has the stacked leather. So as far as I know, the version of that sword with stacked leather is only a Rough Rider thing. You get other makers who basically buy it and put their stamp on it who don't have that stacked leather. And I would say paying more for that stacked leather is worth it for aesthetic reasons and for practicality. Stacked leather was a thing for a reason. It does work as a handle material. It's like a katana machete. So hopefully we're talking about the same thing. I've seen that you checked out Chicago Knife Works for those. Yeah, Chicago Knife Works was the last place that had the original batch and then finally sold out, and then within a few months they're putting it out again now. I've not seen the Rough Rider sword. No, saw it on SMKW, Rough Rider Marine Combat Sword. Okay, yeah, where I talk about the same thing. Rough Rider Marine Combat Sword features a 440 stainless steel, Tonto blade. Yep, it's cheaper. It is. Yes, that's correct. And Chicago Knife Works is the only place that sells Rough Rider for cheaper than SMKW that I know about. That's the honey badger I want. Oh, the hawkbill? You want the hawkbill one? This is the small, by the way. So they have small, medium, and large. And the way I collect knives is typically I try to go with the compact and or small first because I want to see how small you can go first, and then if it's too small, size up accordingly if need be. That's just the philosophy I go with. If small enough works for what you need it for, then don't upgrade to something larger, heavier, bulkier, etc. unless you know you need to. That's kind of the way Man, I used to only use Amazon. I'm trying to stop feeding the corporation. Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever bought a knife off Amazon. I mean, I might have. I'm sure I have at some point, but no, I don't think I have. I don't think I have. Yeah, I almost never buy anything off Amazon. They are an evil corporate. Don't even get me fucking started. Chicago Knife Works. Start with White Mountain Knives. They don't charge you for shipping or tax. Which, if you want to be a good citizen, you should pay tax and support your local government. But you know, if you want to save money, save money. I'm not going to sit here and get what and bog down into that. But yeah, start with White Mountain Knives. Justin, it's a small company. It's his company. He runs it. He answers the emails. He's a great guy. So start with White Mountain Knives, Mojave Outdoors for Kaisers, and then try the other on Chicago Knife Works, stuff like that. Um, Knife Country USA is also very inexpensive, family owned. Um, and one other one. I can look it up if you want. I'm sure you probably know. Man, I used to okay. Thanks, Stacy. The sword is 23. The proponent is bad to the bone. It absolutely is. I have so I always had the mini because this is the one that came out in my Carta in the SMKW exclusive. And then recently they came out with the burgundy micarta full size is up there. I don't know. Do you want to see it? I'll show you if you want. But I've shown it before, and the full size is a monster of a blade. Okay, let's see. Chicago Knife Works has a marble sword, I believe. Really? Wait, yeah, I have that too. You mean the cutlass, the pirate sword? I have that too. Yeah, they do. Budget guy. It's named differently. I retract my idiocy. Well, it's not idiot. Combat sword, Rough Rider. Yeah. Hey, what it is? Knife stirs, indeed. What's up, JN? That's cool. You're fine. Screw case. Everyone's like screw case. You know, fell asleep with my Swiss in my pocket all the time. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've been meaning to talk about this. I don't know why. Like, I would keep this in my car and in like an EDC bag. Lately, I've been EDCing this every day. Now, all through high school and college, I EDC'd the classic SD, by the way. That was my EDC. Fisher Space Pen, a little notepad, a mini mag light, and this is the 90s, okay? And a classic SD. Man, oh man, I have done so much work with this. I forgot how fucking good Victorinox is. This shit is so damn useful. I use these days. I've been using this more than just about anything else. And I'm even using it more than my multi-tools. Basically, um, my multi-tools I'm only using for pliers at this point and a wire cutter. But otherwise, I'm using this. This does everything at this point lately. And I have been EDCing the crap out of this. And when you pull this out to use, nobody does the I mean, for a while I was using a pink dozier, the K-bar dozier. Even that would get an initial, but then it's pink, so they're like, oh, cute. This doesn't even get the initial like it's just everyone's used to this. It feels like a Boy Scout knife or something. Yeah, I need a bit of thread lock. Yeah, I'm gonna need to. Oh, damn it! I just did it again. I'm gonna need to use some Loctite too. Okay, I fell asleep. Here we're Loctite. Hey, Diver Dave. How are things out in Singapore? Must be really hot out there. It's tropical or subtropical out there, isn't it? No, it's flat out tropical, I think. Não pode escutar, Mariana. No. Okay, everyone. Civivi is getting into the fixed blade game as well. Yeah, they got a new one hitting the Tamashi. Yeah, I almost got the Elementum fixed blade. In the end, I didn't. Because I'm at this point, if it doesn't have my card, I'm not going to get it. At this point, like I've gotten so fortunately I've slowed down in my purchasing. So at this point, short of a button lock or micarta or a new lock type, you know, I'm or something new and gimmicky. I don't need. I've got more than enough now at this point, which I'm glad about. I've finally plateaued off. I've got enough kinds of things that I don't need to buy every single thing out there. Um, so in the end, I didn't get the Elementum because it's a G10. It's got a nice blade shape and everything, but it's not offering anything really astoundingly new. So, oh yeah. Also, let me show you this thing real quick. Got this thing the other day. It's really odd. What is this? So it's got this loop here, and it's got a very limited pocket here, which basically just is going to hold some paper. That's it. But it's this thing called Gridded from Cocoon. I got this at Goodwill, Salvation Army. But as you can see, it's got a very elaborate, all these straps, and each strap has rubber on it, so it's nice and grippy. So I mean, what the hell are you supposed to do with all? I mean, obviously you're supposed to do whatever you want with it, but I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. It's kind of interesting, but I don't know, you know. But what kind of stuff? I mean, should I turn it into something tactical like this, or I mean, that wasn't the initial goal. I mean, it's supposed to be for anything you want it to be, but I mean, I can literally do all this. You can get all kinds of elaborate with this. Right? Okay. Okay, near as I can figure it. It's okay. Near as I can figure it. Ajax, lungs, and Chicago ain't got some of the ones I'm sorting. Okay. Well, SMKW should. I got Knife Country too. Okay. What's a mini and why does Rough Rider make swords? Mini, so like this is the mini proponent. Okay, let me show you. Here's another example, the QSP Penguin for sub $30 at the time, I think, or about $30. My Carta D2, incredible action, This is the mini proponent in brown, burgundy micarta, burlap, I believe, which I like. I like burlap the best because it's the roughest and it's got the most texture. And this is the burgundy micarta full-size proponent. So as you can see, it's a pretty significant difference. Look at that action. I mean, this is just a monster blade. So again, I mean, do you need much more than this? I mean, obviously you might want, but I mean, that's a lot of knife. This reminds me of the One-Armed Swordsman with Jimmy Wang Yu. I had no idea the actor Jimmy Wang Yu is like a made man in the Hong Kong triads. I had no idea. Okay. They seem to make a lot of things. They do. I agree. I never use my multi-tools. I always reach for my Swiss. Cool. Wow. I just opened my copper Hawksbill black smooth bone. It's bigger than I thought. It's beautiful. Cool. the RR 1587. I have just, in terms of traditionals, this is one of the earliest traditionals I got. I got it purely for, yeah, here we go. It's a off-brand, just Pakistan, hawkbill. Just I was gonna just do some pruning with it, and I also wanted to get it because it's made with a buffalo horn, and I wanted to check out what buffalo horn felt like. Fit and finishes, yeah, obviously it's not astounding. I mean, it's pretty bad. But again, I wanted to just get it as a pure worker knife, and this was my first hawkbill, and I was just going to get it to just do some gardening work, pruning and such, which is what the original hawkbills were, as I understand it. Okay. I wanted the brass proponent. Yeah, it doesn't ship overseas. Okay. Here is the Kershaw Cinder, which I very recommend. The Cinder, that is, the Kershaw Cinder. It is incredibly tiny. I don't know how to do a size comparison, but it is just ludicrously tiny. Okay. But this is, again, this is the whole thing about design. For such a tiny knife, look at how much knife you get. It's astounding. This is a Rick Hinder design for Kershaw. The perfect little thumb ramp. Okay. Very usable blade. Forward choil. Okay. It's a liner lock. This goes to show, and then the keychain loop basically allows you to get that third finger on there. I mean, it's astounding that a tiny knife like this can give you so much usability. Point one. The second one, it's a multi-tool. It's got the damn can opener. I'm fucking sick of bottle openers. You can open a bottle with anything. So I wish they'd stop putting those in. Here's the thing. It's copper. This thing is stupid heavy. I mean, a lot of people like Jason Brown, for example, mentions, he's got a bunch of copper and brass stuff, and he doesn't mind. This little tiny thing here is, let's see, get a little bit of an even surface here. A modicum of even surface. Let's see. Please work. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, 1.6. This tiny thing is almost as heavy as a Benchmade bug out. So I have the Archeo in copper. Okay. It's 3.9. It's almost 4 ounces. 4 ounces for, I mean, it's way too heavy. People like it because it looks nice. And I wanted to try to get in on the trend because I'm very prone. I'm very, very vulnerable, or susceptible rather, to trends. I got on the cleaver trend. I started getting cleavers. Every trend that comes by, I want to jump on the bandwagon. And I love the way it patinaed. So I was like, ooh, let me check it out. And I was going to get the copper proponent too, originally. Fortunately, they sold out before I pulled the trigger, because I would have been very disappointed. So, I mean, I don't know what to compare it to, but this thing being 4 ounces, let's see what else is 4 ounces. This with the sheath is 4 ounces. It's just super impractical. Now, it looks nice. See, it's getting that nice patina. So I get it. I like it. I don't mind. But again, and it's well made. It's CJ, or is this artisan cutlery? Yeah, it's artisan, right? So it's a well-made blade, but it's just it feels like a brick. Personally, I will officially say don't get brass, don't get copper. If you're like some of the guys out there who are like, I don't care. I get used to it. Fine. If you already know that about yourself, fine. But if you're not sure yet, I'm just going to tell you now. Don't find out the hard way. I mean, this is uselessly heavy, and it's just the density of it. It's so awkward. You're just not used to something this small being that heavy. Again, even something like this is really uselessly heavy. I have another copper. I got the Boker Tech Tool, which is actually very useful, and it's one of my favorite gentleman carry. But it's just stupid heavy. I kind of would have preferred if I hadn't gotten that. It looks nice, so I'm okay with it because it makes it much more of a gentleman carry because of that nice copper. It looks elegant, but it's pretty impractical, frankly. That copper is I'm not, I'm just over it. Okay, hi. Haha, try pulling out a SOG Flash 2 in the park at a Mexican party. It gets quiet real quick. Yeah. Okay. I was just gonna say it when you did. When people see a Swiss Army, they think Boy Scouts. Yeah, that's why they don't get scared. I agree. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm way behind because I go on these long ass rants. Good Lord. Okay. Stacy, the Copper series is sweet. I have the teardrop jack. You and your micarta. I know I'm obsessed with micarta. For a tablet. Yep, as tropical as it can get. Yep, not that hot these days as we got thunderstorms recently. Yeah, it's humid though. That sounds awful. That's weird that won't ship overseas. If you ever need me to help you out, get something for me, let me know. I got a post on it. Yeah. Yeah, Diver, Dave, just reach out to anybody in the community. Most people would be more than willing to help you. Oh, talk about wow! I got the Celestial Hunter. Okay, it's huge, and the whole thing glows. Ah, the Celestial Hunter. You mean the lockback? I've been. I had it in my cart. I need to get it. As a matter of fact, I think I will. I think I'll get it today because I want that glow in the dark. It looks beautiful. I love to see people's reaction when I whip out the proponent. Oh, I know. I don't want to see people's reaction because I just don't want to deal. Hey Shane, that hunter is a bigger knife. So the hunter is it a fix? It's not a fixed blade, right? I don't know that they make one. The only ones I know in the Celestial series is they have the large folding hunter and the medium sized folding hunter, which is a lockback. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to get that Hawkbill 2 for how cheap it is. The Hawkbill from which series? Shane, my man, how's it going? Yeah, the mini looks like a regular size knife. First time I seen it in hand. Yeah. Love my cinder and copper. Oh, okay, yeah. So you have that. Little Kershaw will fuck someone up on the. I mean, totally. I mean, that's look. You you could do some work with that. I mean, it's what like a 1 inch blade. It's thin behind the edge. Okay. Okay, thanks for the offer. I do have a forward. I just might take it someday. Yeah, I got the Ember. Kind of jealous of the Cinder. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one the Ember is. The Ember is bigger, a lot bigger. I know tall companies stop with the bottle openers. I know, for fuck's sake, stop with the goddamn cap lifters. Same with Victorinox, which they stop putting in corkscrews. Okay, Diver Dave, I agreed with you, and a lot of people did as well for a long time until people on YouTube started blowing it up. And if you want, there's a guy named Nick Guyver. He's a Greek guy who has English subtitles or in English, and he is the designated YouTube guru of Victorinoxes. And he calls himself like he's basically like the MacGyver of Victorinox. He's got like not everyone, but he's got a huge Victorinox collection, and he demonstrates all the different things you can do with this. The most ingenious one is to use it as like a marlin spike. You can use it to untie knots. So check him out and check out his video, uses for Victorinox corkscrew, and you'll see. I never would have thought. I never would have thunk it, but there's a whole bunch of stuff. Furthermore, the reason why I like the corkscrew better than the screwdriver is because of their tool that they put in. You know, the eyeglass thing. And I wear glasses. I don't know if you do. But for that. Secondly, Victorinox now makes fire steels and tinder that fit in there. So, you know, I'm going to get that too. It's a little expensive and it's definitely very gimmicky, but yeah, they have little mini fire steels and mini tinder that fit, that screw in just like that for your Victorinox. So I'm pro corkscrew. So I got the ember kind of does this. Okay, wait. I like heavier knives and I love copper. Yeah, see, so Stacy, Jason, a lot of people are like, look, I don't mind the copper. If you already know you don't mind, obviously you can ignore my warnings. But if you aren't aware of that, I mean, I didn't not know that they were going to be heavy, but I didn't know they were going to be this annoyingly heavy. I mean, like it just feels like a brick in my pocket, or I'll put it in my breast pocket and it's just like, oh, it just keeps like banging around. It just drives me nuts. To screw into a tree and hang my bag until I make a hook. Check that out. So Diver Dave, check out what Budget Guy is saying. He uses the corkscrew to screw into a tree and hang his bag on it. So you'd be surprised how many uses there are for this corkscrew. You well, just skipped again. Okay, until I make a hook, you should be just. My favorite is the osprey and copper. Not sure what the osprey is. I don't start to feel a knife in my pocket until it gets over 8 ounces. Yeah, Shane, I think you were another one saying that you don't mind the copper. Again, 8 ounces. Ugh, that'll pull my pants down. I ain't got enough hips. No, I have too much as it is in my pockets, on my belt. That's why I kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller until finally, that's about as much multi-tool as I want to deal with. I do not want a full-size multi-tool. It's too much weight on my belt. And it's just like I'm always pulling up my pants and I'm not trying to like low ride like a gangster or something, It's just no, I don't need it. Not a Kershaw man, so I don't know, maybe a little. Corkscrew is useful for certain kind of bushcraft tacks, but for urban stuff, kind of useless. Uh, yeah, it depends. Obviously, it's a Swiss army, and the French part of the Swiss. I mean, they are, they drink wine. I mean, it's a real thing. I lived out there, and people genuinely drink a lot of wine, and they don't have the kinds of laws like we have out here. Like if you go on a picnic, they don't have like public drinking laws out in Europe that I know of. Where I was at, the countries I traveled to, there's no concept of like no drinking in public laws like we have in the US. There's a reason why we have that, and it's an ugly history why we don't let people do that. But again, for the same reason I oppose knife laws, I oppose public drinking laws. They have like a nasty history, like loitering, was mainly a Jim Crow kind of thing. It has a very nasty, ugly history to those kinds of government prohibitions that are selectively enforced, if you will. So the public drinking thing is a fucking bunch of bullshit. It's already illegal to fuck around. If you're fucking off in public, whether drunk or not, you can't do that. So it's just an unnecessary law. But yeah, in Europe, corkscrews are a thing. And have you ever tried opening a wine bottle without a corkscrew? Fucking pain in the ass. Like it becomes a whole adventure. It becomes a whole thing, and it's like one of those jokes, like how many such and such does it take to screw in a light bulb kind of thing. You get like a whole bunch of people like, okay, what are we gonna do? And eventually you just like push it in, and it's a pain in the ass. Oh, that hunter has a type of liner lock. Okay, I'm gonna have to look again. You're talking about the Celestial series, Stacy? We can't carry it here, so the brass proponent would have been just a display piece, right? But I get the weight part. I agree, it's impractical. It just looks so good. Yeah, no, I get it, and yeah, for a lot of people, I was afraid it was going to be too heavy, and in the end, I pulled the trigger because this wasn't necessarily going to be a carry piece, or if so, more of a gentleman carry or a show off piece, right? So I was willing to take the risk, um, because it's okay to have one or a couple, for the sake of having it. I just found out that it's it's unexpectedly heavier than you expect. I mean, you expect it to be heavy, but it's just shockingly heavy. Okay. Oh gosh, sorry guys. I'm just trying to catch up. Looks good. Hey, Newman Outdoors. Yeah, it does have its uses, but to have it in almost every model they have. Yeah, no, I agree, Diver Dave. It's just again for the Swiss and for the time where it emerged from. Today we have pop tops, bottle. Back in the day, corking something was one of the primary means of military rations. So it was indispensable. So yeah, it is a little bit of a relic of the past because it's no longer the case that everything has a cork in it. But it's important to remember, guys, this is a very interesting history. Why is the can opener so much younger than canned food? Okay. It's very important to realize that the can opener is a much, much, much more recent invention than canned food because canning food didn't become super viable industrially until much later after its invention. So prior to, um, so even Napoleon's army used canned food. Okay, but they would just use a big ass knife, and anyway, it was only much later that I think it had to do with like the use of tin or something that it became more viable industrially, so that industrial canned food became more of a thing. That's when we started having the need for actual can openers, and that's when we see the proliferation of can opening blades and such and mechanisms. Uh, Stupid agreed. Or have an option for it. Okay, got pulled away from the phone, but I'm in back. What's new? Nothing. You can go back to the comments. You can even open wine with it. Yeah, good luck. Thanks. I'll check out Nick Guyver. Yeah, something like that. You'll see. Just look at once you look up uses for Victorinox, it's going to be all his videos that pop up. I watch Felix Imler. Yeah, Felix Imler is more of the he's more of the Victorinox alteration guy. Like he'll tell you like how to mod them and such. And don't get me wrong, he does use videos too. But Nick Guyver is more the guy who features how to use things more and shows you a lot of the different models. I guess I wear specs and the small screws will be useful. Exactly. Okay. What up? Shane got that dump truck booty hanger? Meant as a compliment. Oh, good Lord. I had a Manix XL in copper. Now that was too heavy, 12 ounces. Good Lord. Yeah, a lot of people buy aftermarket, like bug out scales in copper. Again, which now that's something that just really doesn't make sense to me. The whole point of a bug out is that it's ultra light. So they sacrifice a lot of things in order to get you an ultra light knife. And then to put copper on it, just get a different knife. If you want something stiffer, it just, to me, it just, I just, there's a disconnect there. It doesn't make sense. Not that I'm sitting here trying to tell people what to do or not to do, you know. Some people just flat out love the bug out so much that they just like the design of it. I frankly think that the bug out is the most overrated knife of the fucking century. I think it's two pieces of fucking plastic. It's nice and slicey, but that's just because it's thin behind the edge. So it's got good cutting profile, but that's because of its geometry. In terms of its flex, I'm sorry, it just feels like a cheap ass little plastic ass little rinky dink knife that's just grossly overpriced. Sorry, little strident on that, but I know. Okay, what's up? Okay, the Celestial. Okay, RR0268. Okay, or 2068. Okay, let me look that up. I don't know whether that signfold reference registers in the context of your typing, but it's meant as a warm greeting. Newman. Oh, okay. I don't have a TV, so believe it or not, I never watched Seinfeld, so I don't even get Seinfeld references. Yeah, I know. I'm that out of it. I got to go arrange a snack. I'll be back. Okay. I got the leather slip to use with it. Yeah, I have a bunch of those. I can show you those too if you want, but I'm sure you know what they are. I really Hollywood. I've been sick of hearing about the bug outs since release. I I don't get it. It's a shit knife. I'm sorry, it's a shit knife. Now it's great if for people who wear like especially like basketball shorts and stuff, or like me, like these pajama pants. I admit it's frigging great for that. Just because it's like I just want lightness over anything else, and I'm just going to do some light work with it. Surprisingly, however, the bug out does have surprisingly good performance in terms of toughness, and that is a sign of the fact that um, Benchmade does do good quality. One of the signs. Okay, so just here's a little factoid. Let me show you if I can find a GRN knife, a GFN knife. Yeah, okay, no, that's G10. Okay, yeah, here. Okay, so when you make GFN FRN, okay, this material, they have molds, right? And they pour this stuff into the molds. Now, these molds, right, to create this texture, break down. They're made out of whatever die cast metal, where the fuck that shit is, right? It's like cast iron or whatever, right? But what happens is these molds deteriorate through time and have to either be replaced or B have to be re-etched. So cheaper companies won't do that, and you'll see degrade over time the quality of the GFN, FRN, GFN. Okay, Benchmade, as far as I know, has pretty consistent QC in that if you pull the bug out apart, mine's in here somewhere, but you'll see on the flip side where they do pretty extensive weight relief through like latticing, like lattice structure. This has weight relief in the liners, but you'll see that they do a good job of either re-etching or using new molds, and that's part of what makes it expensive. A lot of people get upset, like, why would you charge so much for a cheap material like this? Well, if you're not going to maintain high standards, then yes, it's cheap. If you're going to maintain Benchmade level standards, it isn't necessarily the cheapest thing in the world, like Spyderco. Spyderco and Benchmade are doing a good job with the QC on their molds that they use for the FRN GFN. The Dutch Bushcraft Channel tested the bug out with plastic, and it held up pretty well. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. They batoned the shit out of it, and they were shocked at how good or how strong and tough it was. So yeah, still significant for the price. I agree. I'm trying to acknowledge that they do good some good things, but I still think it's a grossly overrated knife. It's good for what it is, and it's surprisingly better than you'd think, which again is a testament to Benchmade, and they did do a good job. Why it caught on, I think it was just purely the novelty of the lightness of it. We weren't used to knives that light being that durable. The bug out is a great 65. Yeah, I mean, especially when it was S30V, it was just like, but then you could say that about Spyderco too. Their S30V GFN stuff, they're charging $100. Okay. Next. So it's been 1 hour. I haven't really shown anything. I'm only just now caught up with the. Sorry about that. Let's see. Okay. This is not necessarily tactical, but I always talk about morale factor. I mean, I got this for $2 on the reduction, but it's so cute, right? I mean, this is so adorable. If you've got a kid, hygiene is a survival thing, because bad hygiene will fucking kill you. Ask any refugee, who has to walk hundreds of miles. That's one thing I learned from my ancestors. Toothbrush, underwear, socks, soap. Without those, you will fucking die. If you're walking hundreds of miles over multiple months, hygiene. I'm stockpiling toothbrushes because I don't know how to make a toothbrush. If we end up in an SHTF situation, you cannot have enough toothbrushes. So I'm always getting extras. Okay, I got some of this. This is all dollar store stuff. So waterproof foam tape. Now, this is supposed to be for first aid. My question is can you use this as a cheap version of grip tape? Because I realize when you have shitty traction, can I just put some of this shit to make it a little grippier? Question. I finally found some. I've been looking for these. Whenever you're with someone and you want to both listen to the music at the same time, it drives me crazy. Sorry, I'm really dehydrated. Let me get something to drink real quick. Sorry about that, guys. I really let myself go with my self-care. I don't hydrate well enough. I don't know why I do that. I'm just not very good at taking care of myself. Meu ponto fraco. Para. Yeah, I mean, again, the thing is, this is a hygiene thing. Okay. Oh, good. Here's what I wanted to mention. Why is this a survival thing and a tactical thing? Because have you guys ever heard of Swedish brushing? Go ahead and look up Swedish brushing. It's a lymph drainage practice that is a health thing. So you take a hard bristle brush, and it helps drain your lymph nodes. It's phenomenal for immune system boost. Hey, look, during the 8 days of COVID, work on your lymphatic drainage system stuff. In my opinion, I think this is kind of the same because this is the Korean version. Koreans are really big about when you bathe and shower and such, you scrub. Now, my parents took it a little too far and they scrubbed the fucking shit out of us, and like to a level of like trauma, like the old school laundry things where they had the washboard, and that's how they treated us, man. It was fucked up, but that's where they went overboard. However, I'm going to argue that adding loofah, etc., sponge, this kind of thing is an important part of survival, not just in SHTF, but just in your like EDC. Consider this EDC, so to speak. In your everyday showering, uh, really scrubbing yourself and draining the lymph out of your system um, is an immune system boost thing. So it seems like a joke and a gimmick, but it's morale factor if you got kids, or it's a morale factor for yourself. Like here's another thing. When you smile, when you see this and you smile, you literally boost your immune system. This is something that in the hyper masculine world of EDC, prepping, survival, we forget about TLC, the tender loving care. Like smiling is critical for survival. You look at um, war prisoners in war camps, concentration camp survivors. The people who survived were the people who smiled, laughed, shaved, you know, got up every day, got dressed. The people who kept the morale high are the ones that made it. Why? Because it boosts your immune system. One of the reasons why. Yeah, who cares? Diver Dave about weird. I know everyone thinks I'm weird for collecting knives. Just embrace it. I know you do, but question: if I want to force patina my copper knife, rampart, mini sheepdog, osprey, etc., do I need to take them apart and just do scales? Oh, yeah, because you don't like, especially if you're using like vinegar and stuff. You should take the scales off. And the other reason too is if you don't, you're gonna get that uneven patina. Let me show you where's my. Oh, the osprey is one of the of the artisans, aren't they? I just realized. So this is the shark, I believe, or the archeo. Wait, shit, no, this is the archeo. Which is this one? Oh, this is Dylan Mallory. I just realized. I think it's the archeo, but take a look at the pocket clip. See how it's completely clean behind there. So if you're gonna force patina, I would definitely take everything apart so that you can get a nice even one. Because otherwise, it'll be uneven and again, there's a lot of moving parts, right? The washers, the grease, the lube, everything. You don't want to get vinegar where you don't want it, right? And these are stainless steel, but remember, stainless is not stainless, right? It just stains less. It's not non-staining, right? Like LC 200N is one of the only kind of almost completely stainless. Okay, anyway. Just a little info: using your finger if it's clean is better than using a cotton swab to brush if you have toothpaste. Okay, thanks. So it's better to use that than a cotton swab. Why? Cotton swab traps too much bacteria. Is that why? I got scared when Hollywood told me about lucky knives. Okay, bees is on. Okay, all right. In that case, I'm gonna finish. My family thinks it's super weird. Oh, great. That's nice. Okay, let me just finish this up. Herbs. Don't forget herbs. Okay. Herbs is important to stockpile because herbs not only help make food more palatable, which is good for morale, which will help keep weight on. Every single herb has A, medicinal properties, and B, also has preservative uh, things. So if you look up every single herb, you will see the list of bacteria it inhibits. So nearly every single herb inhibits a specific bacteria from forming as extensively or whatever. So don't forget. And then stockpile batteries and razors. These double-edged razors. This is good for your little survival kits. If you just are in a survival situation, you don't have any edge. This is a way of having a cutting edge. And I got this for the smoke detector because everyone's been bugging me about that. So, oh yeah, Mariana, Bernardo, her son and her dad, everyone's vomiting right now, so they're sick. I agree, Dave. Thanks for saying that. Okay, herbs. No, not those kinds of herbs. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. Bees is starting, so I'm gonna head over there too. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. And hit like, comment below if you have any questions or any comments, questions, topics, anything you want. Just comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Bye bye.